Packard 180 Custom Super 8 All-Weather Town Car by Rollston 1941. Series 1908. 160 horsepower, 356 cubic inches L-head inline 8-cylinder engine, 3-speed manual transmission with overdrive, independent front suspension with coil springs, liver ear axle with semi-elliptic leaf springs, and 4-wheel hydraulic drum brakes. Wheelbase, 148 inches. By 1941 most American coach builders had given up the ghost amidst changing economic times, but Rollston, the successor to New York's famed Rollston, soldiered on by building small runs of semi-custom bodies for Packard. With both Rollston and Packard suffering the problem of traditional clientele who were still wealthy but a little less so than before, emphasis was made on offering the same hand-built quality but at a somewhat lower cost. Accordingly, the Rollston semi-customs were based upon factory body shells, which Rollston would extensively modify and re-engineer to their own designs. This allowed the cars to be sold for less than full customs, yet they still benefited from traditional hand finishes and beautiful appointments. Rollston offered 2 catalog custom bodies on the Packard Custom Super 8 180 chassis in 1941. Both were intended to be driven in the proper manner, by chauffeur, and were outfitted with open driver's compartments and padded formal rooflines. The most deluxe and expensive was the all-weather town car, which was based on the 148-inch wheelbase 1908 platform and was built by extensively modifying a factory touring limousine body. At a whopping cost of $4,820 each, only 3 of these cars were produced in 1941, and the car offered here is the only known survivor. The car's original vehicle data plate, still present on the firewall, identifies it as having been delivered new to Providence, Rhode Island. It eventually made its way into the ownership of the late John H. Benn, a well-known Packard enthusiast from Trumbull, Connecticut, who had a particular passion for well-preserved original 1941 models. Mr. Benn eventually sold this car to longtime Classic Car Club of America member Robert Scopp, from whom it was purchased by its present owner. Mr. Scopp had spoken to Dr. Charles Blackman, a well-known roster keeper for Rollston-bodied Packards, who claimed that the original owner had been one Mort Shepard, a Palm Beach resident. In all likelihood, Miss Shepard had homes in both Palm Beach and Newport, a common situation then and now, which would explain the original delivery being in Providence. Today, this all-weather town car remains in wonderful original condition and includes most of its Rollston applied Packard blue paint and interior. It has never been fully restored, as it has never required such major work. Interestingly, its equipment includes hydraulically operated windows, a feature which was available for senior Packards for the first time this year, as well as functional overdrive, dual side-mounted spares, the traditional cormorant radiator mascot, and front and rear license plate brackets. The original rear compartment broadcloth upholstery is still soft, lush, and immaculate, and it is surrounded by rich, delicately inlaid woodwork. The odometer records 67,327 miles, which, given the automobile's well-preserved condition, may well be actual mileage from new. The current owner, who is very knowledgeable in vintage Packards, has seen to the car's mechanical rejuvenation. Today, it is described as running and driving perfectly and being ideal for CA events and other touring events. It is an absolutely splendid survivor.